Okay, we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome all to Traveling with Bruce. I'm your buddy, Uncle Bruce. Soon to be a traveler. I'll be sharing some big news with you guys in the not too distant future. Don't mind me. I'm looking for something on my desk and I can't find it. And I'm out of time. I'm live, and I have found it by now. Can't find what I'm looking for. In any event, welcome all to the show today. This is Monday, June the 9th. Welcome all to June 9th, 2025. Jennifer and I are right now in deep negotiations to figure out our next little travel soiree. And I'm looking to put a little trip together that is going to be multi-layered when it's all said and done. This isn't going to be just a straightforward, well, we're going to go here, 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 and then come back. This has got a little more to it than that. I am actually plotting for myself an around the world trip. But for Jennifer, I'm planning on meeting Jennifer in Europe as I work my way back um, and spend some time in Europe with her, catch up with Jennifer Jr., and then Jen and I will return back to Calgary together, and that will help me, means that I will have completed an around the world journey. That is what's being put together at this point. It includes the possibility of at least, well, one or two cruises for Jennifer and I. We're working on that right now with nothing yet nailed down. We've just started it. This has all happened in the last 72 hours. This is all fresh, fresh, fresh. And I can honestly say that I can blame my daughter for all of it because she casually mentioned that wouldn't it be great if we could meet in Zermatt this year? That started the whole thing off right there. So we'll keep you posted on that. Today, I'm asking a poll question of you today, and I'm wondering if you'd like to address it. I would love to know if any of you can address this question. What have I got here? Oh yeah, here we are. I've got a poll question up today that basically asks, have you ever been to the Cayman Islands? And by air or by cruise ship? And if you'd like to take a stab at that question, the poll question, do let me know. Have you ever been to the Cayman Islands before? I have some Cayman Island news today that I thought I would share with you all. Thank you for joining in. Thank you also for thumbs ups. Some of you have already found the thumbs up button and have nailed it. If you're watching on the rerun, please help us with the thumbs up button as well. Give us a little bit of forward momentum there. Would much appreciate it. It's fantastic. Someone is saying to me, Uncle Bruce, as great as it is to see you, and it's always great to see you, Uncle Bruce, it would help if you put up the right logo. And there it is. There's the right logo right there. Traveling with Bruce. I got the banner up. I got the shirt on, and now we've got the logo. So we're all good there. Fantastic. I am frantically here trying to set everything up for you today to give you a little bit of a picture show as well with my presentation today. So I'm in the middle of popping up some photos, and I also have some trivia for you today. So if you stand by, you're going to be in line for some trivia tonight. I've got some questions for you, so I look forward to dropping those on you if you're interested in any of those. Welcome one and all to the program. Hope you had a good week. For my round the world trip, the idea is that I was planning and plotting to go to Japan this year. I wanted to go to the country of Japan. I wanted to spend some time in Tokyo, and I'm interested in visiting Osaka, and I am torn between a few other places. One of the places I have thought of visiting was north of Tokyo, where the massive tsunami waves crashed into Japan. I have probably watched the videos of that horrific day. There are probably hundreds of videos available to be seen on YouTube about that day when the water just surged inland and created unbelievable damage. I've seen hundreds of them myself, and I have been kind of quasi interested in the possibility of going to the area now, 12 years after the fact, to see. There will definitely, I know there are some museums dedicated to this event. I've already discovered those, but I'm kind of curious to just see a bit of that. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it. I don't know how long, how far, whatever. But I had said to Jennifer, that Auntie Jen, I said to her, I would like to go to Japan. She says, I don't want to go to Japan. And so she said, you can go to Japan, but I don't want to go to Japan. And I thought, gosh, I think you'd really enjoy it, but okay. So I've thought about a 3 or 4 week trip to Japan as as a rough game plan to go to Japan. And that would mean I would fly from Calgary nonstop on WestJet Airlines to Tokyo, because I can fly nonstop from Calgary to Tokyo direct. And then from once Japan is done, then I would leave Tokyo after 3-4 weeks, whatever it is. And I want to fly to Singapore. And I want to spend about a week in Singapore. And from Singapore, the plan would be to fly to Dubai. And I would spend about 6 days, 7 days in Dubai. And then from Dubai, I would connect to Europe. Now, there's the mystery of where in Europe I end up, because it depends on where Jennifer ends up coming from Calgary to Europe. So we meet there. And timing, location, and ultimately a meetup with our daughter in Zermatt will all culminate, and there could well be a cruise for Jen and I before the Zermatt meetup, and then a cruise for Jen and I after the Zermatt meetup, and then we would work our way back to Calgary from a location from Europe. Well, that would give me an around-the-world trip, and would break it up with a visit with Jen and Jen Jr., and that would be super. And so all of that is on the table, and so I have to now start working this itinerary. And so I've done the preliminary work, and now I must continue on with additional work. I have no plans. I have no idea what I'm doing yet as a general overview for Japan, other than I do want to see a baseball game. I want to take a bullet train. Or 2 or 3. And I would like to see the Toyota factory where they make Toyotas and Lexus vehicles. I'd like to get a tour of that. I'm sure there's a public tour available. I'll be digging that up. Perhaps to the northern part of the country, and perhaps to the southern part of the country. Hiroshima and Nagasaki, one or the other, might be also in play. I'm not sure yet. I don't have a specific set plan. It's like me on my own, go wherever I want, whenever I want, however I want. The perfect kind of vacay I like to take. Singapore, I've studied Singapore left, right, center, up and down, all around, and I'm looking forward to zeroing the list of what I'm going to do there. And then Dubai, I looked into Dubai very seriously back in about 2010. 2008, before I had a channel, before I even had this channel. I had lived in the Cayman Islands with Jen Jr. and Jennifer, and I was wondering about the possibility that I might work in Dubai as an expat in the finance world. But I studied it for about 6 months off and on, but it never fell into place for me. And there were a number of factors that were underway at that time that just didn't make it favorable. And now, as a travel channel kind of guy, and the fact that I'm in finance through my other channel, Dubai might be just a perfect visitation place, and it would allow me to fly on the A380 Emirates aircraft from Singapore to Dubai and Dubai into Europe. 2 subsequent A380 flights. That's a bucket list. And then, of course, there's the Zermatt thing. So there's a lot to juggle around here and see what ends up happening. We'll keep you posted as I know more, as I put more together. I'll keep you posted and let you know what I'm up to and when I'll be where, and sort of figured out the logistics of it all. It's going to be pricey. That much I know. It's not going to be a cheap trip, but this is the one time, and we'll see what happens. There's still, for Jennifer and I, the future beyond this trip, the trip after this one. This is all done by the end of October, roughly. It'll start in sort of July. For me, it'll start in July and end at the end of October. But the next trip after that is for Jennifer and I to go to Australia and New Zealand in the new year. So that one is kind of our next trip that we're plotting. And I'll be working on that one as well. That one will include, I'm not sure if it can include Bali. We'll see how this all plays out. But yeah, I've got a few things I want to yet catch up on before I'm done. Okay, there you go. Welcome all to the program. Great to see you. Say hi to a few folks who are here. Thank you for joining in. Robert is in the house. Robert, I know you're not feeling well. Thank you for popping in. You take it easy, my friend. Sharon, number 3 tonight. No, I've never been to the Cayman Islands. Sylvia, hi there, Bruce. Missed you last week. Sharon, that sounds like an exciting adventure in the planning stages here. Florida Cruisers, happy Monday evening, everybody. Robert, wrong logo, Uncle B. Florida Cruisers, yes, sir. Sylvia, yes, I have been to the Cayman Islands twice on a cruise. Florida Cruisers, yes, it's a beautiful island. Robert, never mind, you changed the logo. Sharon, in Japan, you have to go to a baseball game. It is so much fun, and it's definitely on my bucket list. Robert Blend, hi, Bruce. I went to the Cayman last March on the Celebrity Reflection ship. Would love to go to Japan. Sounds like a great trip. Roger Holcomb, number 11, been on to Caymans on a cruise ship. Depeche Mode, or Depeche, sounds like an amazing experience to visit Fukushima. Roger, I've been to Singapore. Gardens visit is my suggestion. Yes, definitely. The food is one of the other attractions for me. And I didn't want to be in, Japan for 4 days and Singapore for 3 days and somewhere else for 2 days and somewhere else for 4 days. I don't want to do that. I wanted to have a little bit of time to just absorb local whatever, and we'll see how it goes. And so, yeah, I'll be videoing. I will be producing videos about this definite trip, no question about it. Kevin Chapman, the author himself. Greetings, Uncle Bruce. Number 15, thumbs up tonight. Dreary but warm in central New Jersey. Gas is under $3 a gallon right now. Summer fun is upcoming. Hope you and Jen get away somewhere fun. Yes, we're looking forward to Zermatt. This will be the 4th year in a row that Jennifer and I have managed to visit Zermatt, Switzerland. 4th year in a row. For Jen Jr., it'll be 3 out of 4 years. And she's bringing her boyfriend with her. And both of them are very much looking forward to this trip. So yes, the atmosphere, the geography, the people, food, it's just great. Love Switzerland. So we'll see how this all plays out, and we'll keep you posted. We are looking at the possibility of a river cruise and the possibility of a Mediterranean cruise. We were thinking of one or the other or both, and I've started doing my research there. And so when I know more, you'll know more, and we'll kind of go from there. Robert, okay, Uncle Bruce, sorry, I got to go to bed, so I'll see you tomorrow morning. You take care, my friend. I know you're under the weather tonight. All the best to you. Tonight's show, the reason I bring up asking you, have you been to the Cayman Islands or not, is because I have a show today that covers a few pieces of info about the Cayman Islands. And my poll question is probably not working. I have a suspicion that it's not finding you at all. I'm going to end this poll question on my channel here because it just didn't click in after all the time. Oh, now I see it had 16 votes, but it showed me absolutely no response whatsoever. So thank you, though, those of you, though, who did try to participate in the poll question of the day. I'm going to try to reload it because it showed me nothing. No yeses, no nos, no anything. So I don't know what was going on there. Oh yeah, and now I can't do it. It won't let me do it. So we're gonna have to just leave it at that. Thank you though for those of you, however, who attempted to answer the question. If you can answer it here on the air, that would be even better. Thank you all so very much. All right, where am I here? I'm going over here, and I'm over here, and there we are. All right, so today's news on the cruise side of things has to do with the Cayman Islands because they just had a national election not too long ago, and there were a number of contentious votes that were brought up. For those of you who have been to the Caymans or have not been to the Caymans, if you're ever in the space station above the Earth's surface and you happen to cross the Caribbean Sea south of Cuba, you might come across this island right here. That is the Grand Cayman Island, and it kind of looks like a serpent, with just sort of laying on her side there. Here's another angle of that serpent's head right down below us here on the bottom left, and you can see that long beach that comes from the serpent's nose all the way down to its belly. That's 7 Mile Beach, named because it's about 7 miles long. So there you go. And then on the bottom of the photo, on the far right, mid-right there, you'll see a couple of cruise ships. There might be 4 cruise ships in the water over there that you might notice. Those cruise ships are right in front of downtown Georgetown in the Cayman Islands. Let's see if I can show you another photo here. Here we go. This is, again, that serpent's head that is so distinguishable. And on the bottom of the photo here is where Georgetown is located. And you might notice the runway. You might see the runway right at the kind of the corner here, just in a ways from downtown. That's Owen Roberts Airport, I believe. And the bay that you see past downtown, that's West Bay. And then over to the east are the breakers and other areas. Majority of the island's population, though, they live right from the snout of the serpent's head up there into Georgetown, and then just out of Georgetown about 6-7 miles. The rest of the island, I would say about 60% of the island is really not very inhabited at all. About 40% of the island's land is taken up by 60,000 people, roughly. Very vibrant place. Here's a shot. If you've been on a cruise ship, you know this picture. This looks probably somewhat familiar to you. It's the heart of downtown Georgetown, the capital city of Grand Cayman. And a number of jewelry stores, restaurants, banks, and other offices are down here. There are 3, 4, 5-story tall office buildings, complete with elevators, air conditioned and all that. And they house law firms, accounting firms, stock brokerage companies, investment firms, all kinds of businesses done here on this island. It's essentially a tax-free jurisdiction, so there is no income tax here. If they pay you $60,000 a year, you get a check for $5,000 a month. The only deduction that I'm aware of now, things may have changed since I was last there, but the one deduction that you might have is your health insurance deduction that maybe you and your employer pay jointly somehow. But other than that, there's really no deductions. But everything coming into the island is subject to a duty, an import duty, except for items like milk, eggs, bread, butter, baby food, diapers. A lot of essentials for life are not taxed, but chocolate bars and alcohol and blue jeans and those are taxed. Cars are taxed. Other images here from the islands. If you get an image high enough, you can not only see the area of 7 Mile Beach in front of a resort like this, where you see the water sort of portioned off there with life buoys and all the toys, the ocean toys, and then you have the beach itself with all of those loungers, and then you've got the pool area with, of course, loungers and cabanas and everything else. And then, of course, there are the rooms with your balconies. And this unit, 6, 7 stories tall, that could be the Ritz-Carlton, if I'm not mistaken. That might be the Ritz-Carlton. In the background there, you see the rest of the island until you get to the bay. There's a golf course back there, and there are some homes that have been developed around that golf course. And so there's pricey real estate here, no doubt about it. This was the monstrosity that the citizens of the Cayman Islands just voted down in a national referendum vote by 60%. They said, no way do we want a pier facility like this in downtown Georgetown. There is no way we want this whatsoever. And so a lot of business owners with political connections, they spent a lot of money bribing their politicians. They as a matter of fact, this project you're looking at here, $300 million in cost at least, and I doubt they could have done it for under $500 million because costs in the Cayman are insane, absolutely insane. But there were business owners who were pushing government to approve this without any consultation with the public. Just do it, they said. And what these guys wanted to do is you had a whole bunch of jewelry store owners, T-shirt shops, bus and limo companies, tour operators, the vested interests in thousands of passengers a day coming to the island for between 4 and 6 hours each, really pushing the government to put this through. And the population at large, they were horrified when they heard that this might be happening to their beloved island, because you might notice on that artist rendition, there are 4 ships there that are some of the largest on the planet. 2 Royal Caribbean ships, 1 Carnival monster ship, and the P&O, the big P&O ship. We're talking about 6, 5, 17, and 21,000 passengers that could walk on and off these ships all day long and dominate an island of 60,000 people that does not have the infrastructure away from this pier. There is no infrastructure to handle this kind of flow. Here's a more intimate look of what we're dealing with. Is you might note on the far left of this photo, you can see the existing harbor area. Now, just imagine these ships coming right to that harbor area, those piers, and sticking out. Unbelievable. The amount of pollution that those ships are pushing into the air as well. There is no shore to ship power in the Cayman Islands, so these ships have to run their engines, and they're keeping those diesel engines burning all the time. And the good news for most Caymaners is that if you're a Caymanian, the wind generally pushes the smoke back out to sea. You might notice the images of these 4 ships. You can see the smokestacks, the smoke leaving the ships, especially the ones on the right side. The smoke is headed out to sea. So at least that's a good thing, but you can't count on that every single day. Can you imagine 4 giant icon type ships spewing tons of pollution into the air? The government did try to introduce a bill to ram this thing through, and environmental groups jumped into action. They got the courts going with injunctions right away, and they forced the government to hold a plebiscite. This is back in 2018, and COVID killed the plebiscite, killed the deal until 2025, when they finally had the vote, and 60% of the island residents said, no damn way do we want that thing downtown. And so this will be the normal. This will continue to be normal right here. Ships just about a quarter mile offshore, with tenders coming to the ships from the shore. And of course, the lifeboats will be used by some of the cruise lines. And that will be how you get to the island. And there's a lot of talk about what to do going forward from there. I was going to tell you a couple of things here. Some statistics have been coming out. Some government statistics have been released. And if I show you maybe this photo again from outer space, well, that's not as close as maybe it should be. Let me check this one more time. Yeah, this one here, you can kind of see the runway. It's on the right side. It's a straight line heading from right to left. That's the runway. One runway only owns Roberts Airport. This picture here you definitely can see the runway and the taxiway down at the bottom there. The number of passengers that arrived in the Cayman Islands by air was up 15% April this year versus April last year. So the Cayman Islands are really benefiting from an increase in air tourism, and that means these places right here, not only that great big property, but the one with the blue roof on the left and the one with the white roofs on the right, all those buildings, those are all condos, and they're either privately owned and or Airbnbs, and there are more than one or two of these monster resorts that you see here lining 7 Mile Beach. There's quite a number of them, and these air travelers that are coming in, they're spending a week to 2 weeks each when they come into the island for a vacation. A lot of honeymooners come down here. Annual visitors every year come in here for a 2-week, 1 month stay. They'll stay in a condo that they'll rent for a full month, or they'll stay at the Ritz-Carlton for 2 full weeks. You want to stay at the Ritz-Carlton in the Cayman Islands, you're talking $600 to $1,000 a night and up from there, plus meals, drinks. You need a rental car if you're really going to get around. You're going to visit restaurants on the island. There's a lot of them to enjoy. And so we have scuba diving, golfing, snorkeling, all kinds of stuff you can do. You get tennis lessons if you like. But the folks who come down for a week or 2 weeks, these are folks that are dropping $10,000 a week minimum per couple, like at least $10,000 a week. 2 week stay, 2 people, $15,000, $20,000. No ifs, ands, or buts. If you're going to spend a month or two, then you're going to rent a condo for maybe $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month, and then you'll do a lot of your own meals, but you'll also eat out at restaurants, and so you might not spend $20,000 in a month, but you'll spend 10 or 12 for sure. These passengers are the ones that make the island most of its tourism dollars. Okay. Cruise ship arrivals, by the way, were down by 26% year over year. But for the first 4 months of the year, January, February, March, April combined, the statistics show a 4% increase of cruise ship passengers. About 500,000 showed up in the first 4 months. That would be 1.5 million for the year. Now, shockingly, since 2018, when this pier was suggested, since then, cruise ship arrivals have dropped by 40% on the island. 40% lower. And it's not because of COVID that killed it. What killed or is holding back the Cayman Islands numbers, combination of things, but number one actually is not the island itself. It's not because they're not building a pier. It's not because of you have to tender in. The reason that 40% fewer passengers visit the Cayman Islands now is because Disney, MSC, Norwegian, Carnival with all of their brands, Holland America, Princess, and then of course Royal Caribbean, they have private islands. They now run their private island getaways. So you've got Coco Key, you've got Castaway Key, you've got, you name them all. You know them all off by heart. And many of you, I'm sure, have already been on one of these. Cruise lines are not silly. They're very smart operators. They know that if they bring a cruise ship to the Cayman Islands, they're only going to give their passengers 4 hours of land time because you're going to land here at 6, 7 in the morning. The first tender is allowed on shore at about 8 o'clock. The last passenger has to be off by 6. And you've got to get them organized on the ship to line up because you're dealing with maybe 4,000 passengers, of which 3,000 want to get off onto the island. You're talking 150 passengers per tender. That's 20 tenders to the shore, 20 back, and that's if they're full. That's not the case. So I'm thinking 30 tenders each way to get this done. We're talking 4 or 5 hours of land time. The rest of the time, you're waiting in line on the ship to get off the ship, and you are waiting in line on the island to get back onto a tender to your ship. And that, my friends, is an argument that has been made to the government of the Cayman Islands by the operators of tours and bus lines and everyone else to say, hey, if you have to wait an hour or 2 hours in line on shore to get onto a tender to get to your cruise ship, this does not allow people leaving with a nice taste in their mouth about a wonderful time they had in the Cayman Islands. The problem with the Cayman Island port facility is that there are very few places where you can get shade from the sun. Look at this picture here. A lot of the people who are down here are on this pier right in front of you, right here. They're just completely exposed for half an hour waiting to get on a ship, on a little boat. That little carousel thing you see here, that can handle 30, 40 people. We're talking about 4,000 or 5,000 people jam-packed down in this area at the end of a day. This is a nightmare. Look at this picture here again. It doesn't show much here on this image, but on the left-hand side, about halfway up, that's where the existing tenders take you and drop you off. And that's very much exposed to the elements. So if it's a rainy day, you're getting wet. If it's a hot and sunny day, you're getting burned. And bathroom facilities are lacking, and the lineups are chaotic. And this is not good. The island is really debating what is our future as to how are we going to approach this business. Because in the old days, about 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, these cruise ships couldn't hold 2,000 people per ship. They held 1,000 to 2,000 people max. Now we don't see ships anymore that only hold 2,000 passengers. We've got ships, even these ships are tiny compared to the monsters that are coming in now to the Cayman Islands. And of course, this is the future, the vision of the government. This size, they want the icon class of Royal Caribbean ships. Well, those are not coming. They will not come to the island without a pier. The island is really in a major debate mode. They're really trying to figure this out. The business owners are going, hey, there are hundreds of jobs on the line for bus drivers, taxi drivers, tour organizers, restaurants downtown, t-shirt shops, jewelry stores, all the other businesses that enjoy the traffic from souvenir shops and so on. Whereas islanders are saying, wait a minute, hold it 1 second, man. We have 15% more people arriving by air right now. That's 42,757 people landed in the Caymans in April to have a vacation. 42,000 people. They're coming here for at least 7 days, up to 14 days. Let's say their average is 10 days. You know what that means? 10 days for these passengers, that's 420,000 cruise ship passengers. And these people spend more money in a 24-hour window than any cruise ship passenger spends on their entire visit to this island. They have a really smart point. If you're going to spend $500 a night, $800 a night, $1,000 a night at any of these beachfront resorts, then you're going to spend $200 in restaurants. I'm assuming it's per couple. You're going to rent a car for $80 to $100 a day. You're going to do snorkeling, golfing. any other activities, you're going to drop $10,000 in 10 days. That's $1,000 a day, 500 a person, 1,000 a couple a day, at least. There are no cruise ship passengers that spend $500 a day, virtually none. And so the islanders are going, hey, why don't we just bring in 42,000 of these people, have them spend an average of 10 days each on the island, and there are 500,000 not people coming in to the island. All those daily visitors of cruise ship won't be here. We can even shoo them away and not allow any cruise ships in on the island and only have the 42 plus thousand. The island's calmness will be evident. Traffic will fall off like a off the table, and it'll be a beautiful little island again, because it is so hectic now in the mornings and in the afternoons when people get off the ship and want to get back on their ships. It's insane downtown. So that's a big argument being made. A couple of other things that are going on. I was talking about how the cruise lines are operating private islands. One thing that has actually been working for the cruise businesses that want cruise passengers is Haiti. Unfortunately, all the violence in Haiti, you've heard that Royal Caribbean has ceased to deliver passengers to the Haitian Labadee resort. They won't go to Labadee, neither Celebrity nor Royal Caribbean. And so the other day, the Adventure of the Seas, Royal Caribbean Adventure of the Seas, sought and was granted permission to come to the Cayman Islands and dock off the coast. And lifeboats and tenders were sent out. 3,800 passengers came on shore from that ship that day. So the islanders who were in the t-shirt business and the tour business, they were happy. But there's another issue that is dominating politics in the Cayman Islands, and this one is to do with the fact that cruise lines come to the island, and in the first 4 months you had 500,000 passengers, right? If you want to book a day excursion, say you're staying at the Westin Hotel on 7 Mile Beach or the Ritz-Carlton, like I've discussed, any of the big resorts, you want to do a tour of Stingray City and do some snorkeling, you can get on a local operated ship from a local tour operator, and they'll take you out there. And it's $100 a person. It's about a 5-hour excursion, 4-hour excursion, give or take. You can book it as long as little as you want. And they'll take you to Stingray City. They'll take you to the edge of the reef near West Bay there. And you can snorkel with a guide, and you can look down 25 feet of water, crystal clear water, to the very bottom where the reefs are. And there are thousands of fish and other creatures below you. It's just stunning. It's like you're really in an aquarium. But this is a $100 excursion per person. So if it's you and your significant other, it's $200. They'll have snacks on board, some beverages on board. If you want to buy a beer, it's a couple of bucks, of course. But generally, it's a good time. Now, cruise ships are selling the same excursions through their cruise line booking systems. So if you are going on a ship, Royal Caribbean to the Caymans or Carnival or someone else, you can book the Stingray City tour, of course, and your charge will be about $100. But the reality is that only $47 goes to the actual boat owner operator of the tour. $53 is commission to the cruise line per passenger. And there are businesses in the Caymans complaining about this, kind of going, this is not really what we want to, we're not making any money at $47 a head. We've got to try to sell them something on board the ship to get more out of them, and it doesn't feel good. It feels pushy. Well, the cruise lines are going, hey, you want our business, you're not going to build a pier. We're going to have to dock a quarter mile offshore. we're paying your government a fee for a head tax. We're paying your government a fee to transport people to the shore, whether it's on our lifeboat or it's on tenders. It's a two-way trip. It costs us money. Yes, it's built into the price of the cruise, I know. But the cruise line is going, how else are we going to make money from the Cayman Islands? We don't have a private island of our own. Tours. And so the tours anywhere on the island, more than 50% of the money goes to the cruise lines. And businesses on the island are actively discussing this about how can we improve the odds without soaking the visitor with a $150 charge to go to Stingray City. What are we going to do? So these are political discussions being held on this island all the time that you and I never hear about. We never see it in the local media that we have. This is a country that has to find a way to make it work for them, based on what they can offer, based on what they can provide their clientele. Now, there's one more political football that I'm going to talk to you about on the Cayman Islands, and then I'm bringing out the trivia questions for you. By the way, thank you again for the thumbs ups today, and thank you for letting me know whether you've ever visited the island or not, the Cayman Islands. Appreciate that. We've been bringing in thumbs up since the show started, and I appreciate you for this. 25 thumbs ups are already in the bin, and we did have 16 of you vote on the poll question of the day. 56% of you said you had visited the island. 43% of you said you had not yet visited the island. It's a lovely place to visit. No beggars on the street. You're not going to get approached by some huckster on the beach or anything like that. It's a safe place. Very nice. But there is one political football that I haven't talked to you about today, and you're not going to find this in any of the literature until you get there. Until you get to the island, you won't know this place exists unless you've seen it before. I am talking about the world famous, or, well, I don't know if the island wants this to be known as world famous, but it's called, the nickname is called Mount Trashmore. And let me show you what I'm talking about. This is an image here of Mount Trashmore. It's garbage, and a lot of it. This mountain, the locals, they call it Mount Trashmore. This mountain of a trash heap is now 80 feet tall. It's the height of 2 telephone poles, the highest point on the island. There is no point higher on the entire island than this Mount Trashmore. I have a few different angles for you here. There's a shot here from one of the cruise ships. You can sort of see it. You have to zoom in a little bit on it. I wouldn't want to be the condo developer near that place because it's becoming a monstrosity. But unfortunately, the Cayman Islands, there was a time where the Cayman Islands was able to offload this stuff, all the trash that they had from all their residents. They were able to offload this trash onto sea barges. And they would take the barges 5-10 miles offshore, and guess what? Dump it into the sea. And this was done from the early 1900s. It was done in Cuba. It was done in Jamaica. It was done in Haiti. It's been done in every Caribbean island. Don't get upset at me. But until about the 60s, that stopped. And then the Caymans figured out by the 1960s and 70s, they were so wealthy in the Cayman Islands because, again, the Cayman Islands are a collection of banks and insurance companies and lawyers, and there's a lot of money made here. And the government collects a lot of duties from a lot of businesses, and of course the tourism dollars that come in. Everything that's imported has a duty on it. So the government had enough money to take all of this trash and put it onto big ships that would then go to, believe it or not, they went to Jamaica. And Jamaica was operating gigantic pits, garbage pits. And Jamaica was being paid money to take garbage from other countries and allow it to be dumped in their old bauxite mines, these open pit mines they operated. until they found out they have no more room. And then they found out themselves in Jamaica that, we have garbage too, and they stopped taking imports of garbage. The Caymans got creative. They separated their garbage into tires and other garbage. But the Caymans then started exporting their garbage to Honduras and any other country willing to take it. They paid by the ton to offload this stuff. And that worked until about the 1990s. And then it stopped. And since then, the Caymans have had to deal with this stuff themselves, and they're not equipped to deal with it. Now, there was a plan in place, a lot of negotiations, a lot of studies to take this garbage and separate it into various kinds of refuse and to incinerate a large proportion of this trash in incinerators that were going to turn garbage into electricity. And the government negotiated with a company, and they put an environmental study together. And it went over years and years of time until finally, about 2 years ago, it all fell apart and it died on the table. It never happened. And so, unfortunately, Mount Trashmore continues to grow. And there's another problem with Mount Trashmore, and it's this problem right here. There are fires that break out on occasion on Mount Trashmore because there are people who are supposed to declare the kind of waste that they have the garbage company pick up from them. But there are those out there who get lazy and they just put whatever in the garbage, including containers of oil from an oil change, gasoline, kerosene, barbecue starter fluid, you name it, it's in there. And occasionally some worker will have a cigarette and flick the butt into the trash pile, and guess what? It catches fire. And oh no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to have a fire burning on top of this Trashmore with cruise ships just off the coast. That would be bad. So the government's having troubles. The government admits, they out and out are admitting to the world they do not have enough space to handle Mount Trashmore past 6 years from now, maybe 10. It'll be much higher than this when they're done with it. They don't have a plan B. They don't have a plan B. The other problem with this Mount Trashmore, the Cayman Islands gets a lot of rain. A lot of rain. It's a tropical island. It gets lots of rain. And so fresh water falls on the Mount Trashmore. The water seeps its way through the garbage, comes out the bottom of Mount Trashmore, and unfortunately, beautiful fresh running water is not being discharged out of Mount Trashmore at all. And so all around Mount Trashmore, you might notice there on the left side of your photo, there's a canal there. Yeah, they're trying to contain the runoff of this monstrosity to not have the water go into the ocean. It is full of leads and toxins and fertilizer and mosquito repellent and you name it. It's awful. There is no solution in the plan. Now, there was one solution proposed. I think a solution was proposed earlier this past year, maybe for April Fools, but it was this solution right here: turn Mount Trashmore into an artificial ski hill and build some poles, metal poles to the side there, and have the kids get towed up to the top of this hill and put a bunch of ski runs on this thing and have it make some money. After all, they'll rent the skis, they'll pay for the lift pass, and maybe you can get $10 a day out of these kids. The problem is that the daily temperature in the Cayman Islands, even in the winter, with high humidity, is in the 80s, mid 80s. And the problem here is that with the mid 80s temperature, you cannot have kids with helmets, ski jackets, gloves, ski boots, long pants. The reality is you do need this equipment to protect you in case you fall. But the reality is these kids would dehydrate in their clothing, not even after one or two runs down this hill, because there is no shade. There's no shade to go down this hill. It's an absolute nightmare. One big bald trash mountain. Now, eventually, she'll be covered in dirt. As you can see in the background, the first hill you see here is the big one. Behind it is another one, and they cover it in a dirt and put grass on it to try to contain what's underneath there as best as possible. But this area within 10 years will be overrun by waste and filth. And the problem, unfortunately, not only the unsightliness of it, but the smell. We're talking 80-degree temperature, 7 days a week, 80, 85 every day. The stench coming off of this mound has got to be unbearable. And so I don't know if they have enough dirt that they even import to cover this thing. So this is one of the drawbacks of the Caymans. You don't hear about this in your travel magazines. You don't see any of this whenever you see an ad for the Cayman Islands. Come on down. But every hotel, every house, every business, anybody has trash. Every day there is trash. 130,000 tons a year is accumulating on this massive hill that is now at least 80 feet tall, soon to be 120 feet tall. That's 12 stories. The tallest building allowed on the island is 7 stories. Why? Because of hurricanes. And there's the other problem with this Mount Trashmore. A hurricane with a 40-foot high tide surge, water surge, at 150 miles an hour. I guarantee you that half of Mount Trashmore will be spread over a wide area of the island, causing nightmare environmental problems. No one wants to talk about this. This is, hush, hush, don't bring that up, Bruce. Don't say a thing. I'm just saying, it's a beautiful place. Look, the islands are gorgeous. It's a gorgeous place. And from this angle, wow, the diving is great, and snorkeling is nice, and golfing and beach going and getting a beautiful tan. And oh my, it's a wonderful place. But there is that little thingy on the islandy it's 80 feet tall, and it's only a mile away from the airport. This garbage dump is not far from the airport, people. It's not on the east end of the island at all. You can't build a dump on the east end of the island where no one is living, because that is marshland. And so, no, you can't put it there. So unfortunately, just behind here, not far from here, is this place known for garbage. I don't think we can see Mount Trashmore from this angle either, but it's there. Oh yeah, it's there. Anyway, that's my little report on the Cayman Islands today. Thought I'd mention that. There's, it's all nice, but it's not all perfect, and so I just want to mention it. Are you ready for some trivia? Let's see if we can get you ready. Let me take a look at commentary here. Welcome all of you who've been here, who are joining me tonight. There you go, Sylvia. That island is too little for all those people. Laugh out loud. And normally you have to tender there. Sharon, I have a Stanley Cup question. Are you rooting for the Oilers because they're Canadian, or against them because they're a close rival of Calgary? It's a mixed feeling. They lost last year, so if they could win this year, maybe that would be all right. Splair, I'm wishing all of you a relaxed week. Thank you, Splair from Dortmund, Germany. Thank you for saying hi to us, buddy. Ms. M, hi, Bruce. I'm number 26 on your thumbs up meter today. Splair, isn't it possible to throw soil over it and build a park there? Yeah, leakage and hazardous materials, not sorted. Oh, yeah. Kirk Brunson's YouTube and Facebook channel. Hi, Bruce and TWB family. Kirk from New York City is finally here. Welcome, my friend. Ms. M, yes, love the Caymans. Sharon, I keep hearing Mount Trashmore and my brain keeps singing Mount Splashmore from The Simpsons. Splair. Simpsons sounds better than trash. Splair, the ski area is an idea better than my artificial mountain park idea. I was wondering if they would build a roller coaster on that thing, or if they were to build a, you know how in Europe you have those little alpine miniature bobsled runs where you sit on a little thing and you slide down. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yay trivia, says Sharon. Indeed, yay trivia time. Let's bring up some trivia for you and see what you think about today's trivia questions. Welcome all to the show, and thank you for joining me today from wherever you are today. It's great to have you here. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, here's one right here. I've got a trivia question for you. Let's see if I can get this to work today. Welcome all to the show. Let's see if I can work this magically here. There we go. I don't know. I have a dilemma today. I couldn't find my pen, my so-called pen that I use to operate my big-ass iPad. And so I'm sort of stuck here with my finger. And I don't know if my finger will work. I thought it used to work on this device, but it's not working. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I can do it this way. Ah, yes, my finger. There's a setting. There's a setting. All right, your first question of the day. And here's the secret, kids. The trivia question. They have multiple correct answers. You send me one correct answer at a time when you answer the question. No cheating on Google. I will give you hints if you need them, and we'll get right into it. Stephen Butler is in the house, turned in late today, just got back from Minnesota this afternoon. Welcome. Just in time for trivia, my friend. Your first trivia question is, can you name the countries that have an IKEA store? There are 39 countries with IKEA stores. Can you name any of those countries with IKEA stores? I've been to an IKEA in Canada and in the Netherlands. But I don't think I've been in a German IKEA yet. I know my daughter has, but not I. Here come answers. Oh, like crazy. Oh, thank you, everybody, for popping in here. Ms. M. Canada. Yes, Canada has 11 IKEA stores, and the first one was 1976. Sharon is thinking the United States. Absolutely. The second highest number in the world. 37 IKEAs. 1985 was the first one. Kirk has the USA as well. Robert Pierpoint. What about Thailand? Do they have any IKEA stores in Thailand? IKEA stores in Thailand. I'm not showing any, actually. Excuse me. Not showing a single one in Thailand. USA from Ms. M. Splair, what about Japan? Yes, Japan is a correct answer, I believe. 5 in Japan. First store, 1974. Canada didn't get one until 76. Amazing. Stephen Butler had the USA. Sharon is thinking Australia. How about Australia? We have Australia with 5 locations, 1975. Ms. M. Sweden, Bruce. Come on, Sweden. Yeah, 17. I believe that's the home country. 1958. Sharon, New Zealand. What about New Zealand? Let's take a look and see if we can find New Zealand. We found Australia, but we don't have New Zealand. No. What about England? The United Kingdom, 18 in the United Kingdom, 1987 was the first one. Sweden, we've done. France, Sharon is wondering about the country of France. Yes, 28 locations, third highest in the world. First store, 1981. España. Sylvie wants to know, what about Spain? There's 15 locations. 1980, Madrid and Barcelona. I'm sure I've got a bunch of those. Sharon's thinking about Portugal, Bruce. What about Portugal? Does Portugal make it onto the 3 locations in Portugal? 2004 was the first one there. Sharon is wondering about Mexico. the country of Mexico for an IKEA store. I am frantically looking for Mexico, and I cannot find Mexico on the list. Germany, number one in the world. The most IKEAs are in Deutschland. Germany, 45 locations. 1974 was the first one. Sharon is thinking about Argentina. Argentina. I do not have Argentina. The UK we've done. I was working in an IKEA, Uncle B, at one time. Sharon, what about Bolivia? Bolivia. Let's take a look for Bolivia. No, can't find it. What about Peru? The country of Peru. Would they happen to have it? Nope. Guatemala. Guatemala. Do they have an IKEA store? Nope. The Philippines, Bruce. The Philippines. Let's take a look for the Philippines. Not even one in the Philippines. Nope. A lot of Europeans, though. A lot of European countries. India. What about India, Bruce? 1+ billion people. Do they have any at all in India? Not one. Not a single IKEA in India of all those people. Pakistan, Bruce? Would Pakistan be on the list? I do not have Pakistan either. Mexico, we don't have. South Africa, Ms. M is thinking, is it possible that South Africa has some IKEA stores? Does not. Russia, they did. They had 12 in Russia. The first one in 2000, but they were all shut down when the war broke out. Robert, I've been in an IKEA in Bangkok. Google says there are 4 in Thailand. Now, it's possible that the quiz I am quoting you might have ended up in 2015 to 20, and we're talking about something newer than I have. So forgive me, Robert. How about the Ukraine, Bruce? The Ukraine for IKEAs. I'm not showing any Ukrainian IKEAs on this list, unfortunately. No. Poland. Definitely Poland. I thought I saw Poland here. Poland. I thought so. Hang on. Poland. Yeah, 8 locations. 1991 was the first location. There are factories in Poland where they manufacture the IKEA merchandise. Because of Poland's low cost of living, Sweden has set up factories in Poland and in China to produce IKEA merchandise. Yeah. Roger Holcomb, what about Ireland, Bruce? Do they have IKEAs in Ireland? We got one, 2009, probably near Dublin, I would think. Kevin Chapman, the author himself. Denmark, Bruce. Denmark. 5 locations. 1969 was the first one. 1969 in Denmark. Sharon is wondering about Colombia in South America. Colombia, are they down there at all? Nope. Iceland, yes, Iceland has one. It's got to be in Reykjavik, 1981. Venezuela, Bruce. Venezuela. You know, Sharon, unfortunately, I don't see any South American countries with an IKEA, so you're batting 0 on those. Panama, maybe? Would that be possible? Panama. I'm not showing Panama on the list. Roger, Finland. Finlandia, Bruce. Finland. 4 locations in Finland. 1996 was the first location. Norway, Bruce. Norway. 6 locations. First one in 1963. After the 1958 creation of the business, 5 years later, they were next door. Israel, Bruce. That would be Tel Aviv and area. Yep, there's one in Israel, 2001. United Arab Emirates. The UAE has 2, probably Abu Dhabi and Dubai. I would guess that's where they're located. Sharon, Egypt. Does Egypt have an IKEA store? I don't show one. I don't show any in Egypt. Syria, I don't think so. too unstable, especially politically. What about Saudi Arabia, though? 3 in Saudi Arabia. Certainly Riyadh, maybe Jeddah. Jordan. What about Jordan, Bruce? The country of Jordan. Would Jordan happen to have any IKEA stores? I don't see anything for Jordan. Finland, we've done. Greenland, we don't have anything. Iceland, we've done. China, yes. China has 8 locations. 1998 was the first one, according to this chart. And what else is going on? Belgium has got to have one. Robert is thinking Belgium. 6 in 1984. 6 of them started in 1984. Curacao? No, not Curacao. Aruba? Nope, no, nothing in Aruba. Luxembourg? No. Switzerland, Bruce. Switzerland, yes, 7 in Switzerland. 7 IKEAs. 1973, they entered Switzerland. High standard of living there. Looking for a country with 19 locations. 19 IKEAs. European country. 5 letters. Netherlands is a guess. Netherlands, 12 locations, 1978. Looking for another country in Europe with 6 locations. Next door to Switzerland, actually, or kind of next door to Switzerland, certainly next door to Germany. 5 locations in Europe, next door to Turkey. 4 locations next to Germany, another country. 4 locations next door to Greece. We've got Portugal, we've done already. Greece, here we go. Greece has 5 locations, 2001. Italy, absolutely, Roger and Splair. Italy, 19 locations, first one in 1989. Let's see, who else have I got here? I got to go. It's a country, but it's not its independent self anymore. It is now part of China. It's a city, and they got 3 of them in this city. I have another city-state, a country that is a city. They have 2 in this place. I'm going to visit this place on my trip coming up. Remember the Gulf War in 1990 when George Bush, the father, got that one going? They were fighting to liberate a country that got run over by Iraq. You remember the country that got run over by Iraq? Kevin has France. We've done France. Austria, cruiser, yes. Austria has 6 locations of IKEAs. First one, 1977. The author himself has pulled off Hong Kong. Yes, sir. Hong Kong, 3 locations. First one, 1975, under British rule. Yes. Ms. M, what about Taiwan, Bruce? Taiwan, yes. Taiwan, 4 locations, 1994. Roger has Hong Kong as well. Monaco? No, Monaco does not have an IKEA. What about Kuwait? Yes, the Gulf War, Kuwait. They have 1 location in Kuwait City, 1984. It was built in 1984. Sharon is thinking Afghanistan. No, not Afghanistan. I'm now looking for only a handful more. This country used to be a big country, and then it was split in half. And half of the country has 1, and the other half of the country has 4 locations. If you can figure out that, that's in Europe. Then there's a country in Europe that is both in Europe and Asia at the same time. This country straddles the continents. Which country am I talking about? Then there's a country that is named after what you feel when you haven't had a meal in a long time. Wonder if you can get that one. Qatar, Bruce, not on this list. Czech Republic, yes. The Czech Republic got 4 locations. What about South Korea, Bruce? I don't show them on this list. Slovak. How about Slovakia? That's 1 location. Czechoslovakia, 4 in 1, 1 in the other. India, no. Hungary has 2 locations. 1990 was the first one. Turkey, Bruce, straddles Europe and Asia. That's correct. 4 IKEAs in Turkey since 2005. We got Hungary, Dubrovnik, Czech Republic, and Slovakia, Turkey, Hungary, and Romania. Romania has 1. There are 3 to go. There's 1 country in Asia which has the Petronas Towers, the twin Petronas Towers that used to be the tallest buildings in the world. What country am I talking about? The capital is Kuala Lumpur. Then there's the country in the Caribbean that a lot of Americans go to on holidays, and it's two words. The letters of the two words are DC. Then there's an island in the Mediterranean that is a disputed island between Greece and Turkey for generations. Do you know the island I'm talking about? And then there's the city in Asia that is right on a peninsula, right by this one country I'm looking for. I think you got it. Here we go. Okay, it's not Catalan, it's not Croatia. We have Indonesia. No, Malaysia is where the Petronas Towers comes from. Yes, Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. They have one IKEA, 1996. And Singapore, Cruiser, you got it, Cruiser girl. Singapore, they have two. The city of Singapore has two of these. Cyprus is the island I'm talking about. 2007, they got a single IKEA. And then there's the DC island in the Caribbean, Cruiser, Dominican Republic. That is the last one. You've got all the guesses for IKEAs. According to this quiz, I am sure by now Qatar, maybe Bahrain has one, maybe. I don't know about Oman. Not sure about Oman. But yeah, more are coming out for sure. Wouldn't the Dominican Republic be DR, not DC? Well, if I could read, yeah, but you got it. I mean, you got it. It could have been the Dominican Republic. I mean, cut a guy a break. I mean, I'm just winging this. Okay, I'll move on now. I'll move on. All right, your next quiz. Can you tell me the names of the countries of the world that have the most Americans living in them? Where do Americans live other than America? Where would you find most of the Americans? There are 58 countries I'm looking for that have Americans living in these countries. Tell me the names of these countries. Anyone you want to guess. I've got at least 10 in Africa, 10 for North America, 10 for Asia, 10 for Europe, 10 for South America, 8 for Oceania. Tell me the names of countries of the world that Americans are living in. Canada, Miss M. Indeed, Canada is definitely one of them for sure. Give me one moment. If I can make this happen, I will. Okay, there it is. In North America, Canada has 687,000 Americans hanging around up here. They love our country. Very well done there, Ms. M. Stephen Butler, Mexico, Bruce. That's the number one country of the world that Americans live in the most. Mexico, 1,036,000 living in Mexico. Bermuda, Sharon is thinking Bermuda. Excuse me. Bermuda is not showing on this list, and I think the reason is because it's part of the big mother country, Ms. M. France. In Europe, yeah, 101,000 Americans live in France. Americans love France. Kirk had Canada as well. Sharon, Mexico, we got it. Ms. M, what about Germany? Are there Americans in Germany? Oh, yeah. 210,000. There's more in Germany than France. Absolutely. What about España? Sharon is asking me about Spain. 94,000 Americans in Spain. Yeah. Roger is going, I'm not sure what he's doing here. Sharon, China, Bruce, in Asia. 65,000 Americans live in China. Cruiser, the United Kingdom, yes. 224,000 in the UK, and that would have to include the Cayman Islands and Bermuda and any other protectorates of the UK, I'm going to guess. Sharon is thinking about India. India, 15,300. Very small number for India. Mexico, we've done. Egypt. Roger's thinking about Egypt here. Is it possible that Egypt is on the list? 10,892 in Egypt. Yeah. Splair, you can only give me one at a time, and I will take the first answer only, and that is Portugal. And for Portugal, it's not on the list. Donna, England, we've done the UK. Sharon is thinking Pakistan. Is Pakistan on the list? Nope, not on the list. Ms. M, Australia, English-speaking country. What do you think, Bruce? Yeah, the number one in Oceania. 102,000 Americans live in Australia. We have France already. New Zealand, Sharon is thinking if it's Australia, there's got to be New Zealand, number two in Oceania. 14,540. Donna is thinking Italy. There's got to be Americans in Italy, don't you think? Yes, I would think so. It's 168,900 of them to be accurate or close to accurate. Yeah. Roger, Ireland. Come on, man. Ireland, yes, 46,984. Hang out in Ireland. The UK we've done. Portugal we've done. Bangladesh. What about Bangladesh? Nope, does not rank. Ireland we've done. The Bahamas, again for North America. I don't believe we count. No, we're not showing Bahamas. Netherlands in Europe. Yep, number 9, 29,700. Sweden, nope, doesn't rank in the top 10. Finland, nope. Belgium, yep, number 8. Netherlands number 9, Belgium number 8, Ireland number 7. Yes, in Europe. Cayman Islands doesn't count as part of the UK. South Korea. What about South Korea, Bruce? Yes, South Korea, 30,000 Americans hang out there, about the 7th highest for Asia. Israel, Bruce, 94,195 Americans live in Israel. Number 2 for Asia. Israel is considered Asia, believe it or not. Singapore, Bruce. Singapore. No, Singapore does not rank in the top 10 for Asia. Brazil, Bruce, South America, Brazil. Number 1 country in South America, 40,640 Americans live in Brazil. What about Japan? Asia, buddy. Asia, Japan, Asia. Yep, 70,350, third highest. Nigeria, that's Africa, Bruce. Number 3 country, 10,000 Americans approximately live in Nigeria. What about South Africa? We've got it at number 1 in Africa, 11,400 plus in South Africa. What about the Philippines, Bruce? Asia, it's the number 1 Asian country, the Philippines. 105,000 Americans live in the Philippines. Damn, I thought Portugal is the new European California of the USA. It's Spain. What about Russia? Bruce, Russia, do they count? Nope, they're not on the list. Ms. M, Switzerland, Bruce? Nope. Benway, thank you for all your work, Bruce. Thank you for being here. What's with Poland anyway? Colombia, Bruce, in South America. Number 2, 30,680. What about Panama? That would be a North American country. Panama, number 5, 19,700. Robert had Panama as well. What about Guatemala, Bruce? Yep, number 9, 10,000 Americans live in Guatemala. Ecuador, South America, Ecuador, yep, about 7th highest, 7,950. Greece for Europe, yes, 72,500 in Europe. There's only one country. It was Poland. Splair, you guessed Poland. I'm giving you that. Poland has 21,300 Americans living in it. That finishes Europe right there. Let's continue on. Argentina, Sharon wants to know. Yes, 26,600 in Argentina. What about Malaysia in Asia? Malaysia in Asia. No, they don't rank in the top 10. No Americans, Poland. No, Splair, you were right. We had them. Costa Rica, Bruce. That will be North America. Yes, 19,800. A lot of retirees in Costa Rica. And Czech Republic, they don't count, Splair. It's the end of Europe. We have no more down there. I still need 2 South American countries, both on the West Coast, just to help you out. In Asia, I need a country famous for oil production. You would consider it a Mideast country, not necessarily an Asian country, heavy producer of oil. There are 2 oil-producing countries and 2 Asian countries, and one of them is an island just off the coast of China, and one of them is a landlocked, not landlocked, but on the coast of the, I'm not sure, South China Sea. I'm not 100% sure. Africa, I need about 8 countries in Africa if you want to give Africa a shot. And North America, I need about 4 more countries in North America, believe it or not. Let's go. We got Bolivia for South America. Yep, number 9, 3,000 Americans in Bolivia. Ecuador, we've done already. Chile, yes. Chile is 11,700. Saudi Arabia, correct. Heavy oil producer in Asia, 35,989. Hong Kong, Asia. Nope, Hong Kong does not count this time around. What about Belize? North America, Belize. Nope, not showing it. For Africa, we have South Africa, Egypt, and Nigeria, and the rest of the continent is wide open. If any of you know any African countries, there are 4,200, 3,700, 2,100, 2,100 Americans. They're scattered about. Dubai is a city in the United Arab Emirates. We've already done UAE. No, we haven't. We've got it right here. Number 9 in Asia. 16,500 Americans live in the UAE. Kenya, Bruce. Yes, Kenya, number 4. 4,200 Americans live in Kenya. What about Chad? Nope, not Chad. Ethiopia by chance? Yep, 2,100 starving Americans in Ethiopia. I don't think they're starving in Ethiopia. Eritrea, no. Nairobi, nope, not Nairobi. Any other guesses for Africa? In North America, we have Haiti with 11,000 people, Honduras 10,500, and Barbados with 12,000. And that DC country I was talking about, that Dominican Republic, that the one with the DC, yeah, they've got 82,000 Americans. The Dominican Republic. Sudan, Donna is thinking, yeah, Sudan, 1,400 starving Americans in Sudan. Nigeria, we've done already. We're almost out of countries. You guys are doing really well here with this quiz. Really well. Uruguay is a South American country. Peru and Venezuela finishes off the list for countries in South America. In Oceania, we have Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Micronesia, Marshall Islands, Samoa, and Palau. 300 Americans in Palau. How could you miss that? Taiwan in Asia and Thailand in Asia. El Salvador, North America, Morocco, Ghana, round out the list. And we're done on this cruise, or on this quiz. Thank you all very much. Beautiful job, everybody. One last quiz. And we'll see how you do on this one as I set it up with my finger here, making sure. Yep, there it goes. Can you tell me the most common street name in America? The most common street name in America. Okay, think small town USA. What are the streets in small town USA? And then think big cities and go from there. All right. Splair, I know Palau from a video game. I always think it's fictional, Ms. Sharon, what about Main Street? Yes, that is the number, not the number 1, but it is one of the main street names in all of America. Main Street. 10th most common name street in America is Main Street, believe it or not. Okay, let's see here. Elm Street. Robert is thinking Elm Street. Always, it never hurts to think of trees. 13th most common name. Miss M has Main Street as well. Sharon is thinking First Avenue or First Street. Yep, First is the 4th most common in America. First is 4th. Second Avenue is 2nd. First is 4th. 2nd is 2nd most common. You don't know. You don't even have the number 1 yet. Main Street is not the number 1. It's number 10. This is weird. First, we've got Pine Street. There you go. Think trees. Number 7 in America. Pine Street. Main Street. River Road. What about River? River. Number 25 most common name for a street in America is River. Main Street we've got. What about Front Street? Right to the front of town, right down by the river, right down by the bay, down by the harbor. Front. Don't you think it would be right up there? Not even in the top 50. Not in the top 50. Okay, what about Cypress Street? Cypress. Now, where do cypresses grow? Florida? Texas, Georgia. Are there many streets called Cypress Street? Did it make the top 50? It did not make the top 50. No, Fifth Avenue. Yeah, Fifth Avenue is number 11. 5 is 11. King Street. Now, we're talking America here. We're not talking royalty here. We're not talking Canada. We're talking the U.S. of A. King Street did not make it. And I don't think Trump Avenue will make it either, by the way. So we're not going to go there. Okay, Broadway. I don't know if there's very many Broadways in all of America. It doesn't make the top 50. There is a big one called Broadway. We all know about that one. But it might be one of only a few Broadways that exist in all of the United States. What about Washington Street? Uncle Bruce. After all, named after the first president of the United States. Number 18 is Washington Street. Yes, number 18. Queen Street, not going to work. Not even in San Francisco. There might be one Queen Street, but that's not going to get us anywhere on this discussion. Pine Street, we've done. Euclid Street. I don't think we have any hope for Euclid. No. Lincoln Boulevard, after all, he was an important president. Cut short in his time. What about Lincoln? Yeah, number 24. Lincoln Avenue, Lincoln Boulevard, Lincoln Street. Ocean Avenue. Donna is thinking, hey, there's got to be a lot of Ocean Abs or Ocean Streets or something like Ocean. Wouldn't you think? Ocean. No, not in the top 50. Can you believe it? Broadway, no. Larch, no. Broadway, no. Evergreen. What about an Evergreen Ave or Evergreen Lane or Evergreen Avenue or something evergreen, Bruce? What do you think? Is it on the top 50? No. Yes. Number 50 on the list is I was about to say no because I was running out of space here. Number 50 is Evergreen. Number 50. You haven't given me all the trees. You got to give me more trees. What about Front Street? I think we've done Front. Let's move on to Lebanon Street. No Lebanon. Roosevelt Boulevard. How about Roosevelt? Named after the three-time... No. Border Street. Border. The border between this and that and town and all. Border. Have we got a border? No border. Cemetery Lane. Cemetery Boulevard. Do you want to be on 15 Cemetery Street? Do you want to do that? No cemetery. Lincoln we've done. Roosevelt we've done. What about Market, Bruce? Market Street. That sounds like a really common name of a street. Market. No. Harvard? No. MLK Boulevard? Nope. JFK Boulevard. JFK. Nope, not in the top 50. Hamilton is one of these, former, presidential guys. Nope. Jefferson, yeah. Number 49 for Jefferson. That's way down there. Is there a Postal Avenue? No. Maple. Yeah, that's a tree. Maple. Maple, number 6. Maple. Now, you've given me number 1. You gave me First Street. That was number 4. You gave me Second Street. That was number 2. Then you didn't give me one until Fifth Street. And Fifth came in 11th. And then you stopped with the numbers. I don't get you guys. What about Civic Center? Civic Drive, Civic something, Civic, Civic. No, Civic doesn't count. Maple we've done now. Oak Street. Number 3 in America is Oak. Number 3. Dogwood, Bruce. Dogwood. Yes, number 21, Dogwood. Can you believe it? I can't believe it, but it's true. Dogwood is absolutely there. No question about it. Dogwood. For some reason, my magic pen is not working now. I did something, but I don't know what it was. But you got Dogwood. Magnolia Lane, Magnolia anything, Magnolia. Nope. We have Madison. Madison, there's Madison Avenue, Madison Way. Nope. MLK, nope. College Drive, College Road, College Avenue, College Boulevard. Nope. Oak Street, we've done. Number 3, Post Street. Don't think so. I don't think we have a Post Street anywhere here. Nope. Garden Avenue. Garden Ave. That's a good name. Common street name in small town America. Garden. Nope. Not finding a garden. We did dogwood there. Moving on. Birch. Hey, there's a tree. What about birch, Bruce? Is there birch? There's got to be a birch. Bruce, tell me, please. No birch. Third. There was First Avenue, Second Avenue, Third Avenue. Yes, number 3 is number 5. Third is the 5th most common street name in America. Yeah, there you go. Airport Way, Airport Boulevard, Airport Road, Airport something, Bruce. What about that one? Airport. Nope, not in the top 50. Fourth Avenue, 4th Street. Yes. 4 is number 8. 4 is 8. Ash. What about Ash? Was there roads called Ash? We're talking trees. Think trees. Ash. No. Number 6th Street, Bruce. 6 was 14. Yeah, 14th most common. Sharon, 7th. The 19th most common street is 7th. 8th is the 26th most common street in America. First Street, first we've done, it was the 4th. First is 4. We've done that already. 9th, Sharon is thinking 9th Street is it. Yep, number 40. 9th is number 40. Donna, Park Avenue, Park Street, Park Lane, Park Boulevard. Number 1. Park. Number 1. Donna, you did it. The number 1 road in America, the number 1 street in America is called Park. Sharon, 10th. I mean, we're up to 10th. Yeah, number 42. Sharon, pear? Is there, do they have pears? The pear street? Can we go to fruits now? Anything like that? Pear. No, but there are other fruits. Morning Glory? No. Cherry Street. The author himself is thinking Cherry Street. Yes, sir. 32nd most common street name in America is Cherry. North Street. The direction north. Number 33rd most common street in America is named North Street. California Avenue? No. Ohio? No. South Street? There's North Street. There's South, maybe. Nope. There are no other directions, only north. What about Center Street? Right down the middle, Bruce. Center Street. Center. Nope, doesn't rank. No, North doesn't rank. Arizona doesn't rank. Oh, bucko. What about Cedar, Bruce? Cedar is number 9. It's a top 10 street in America. Cedar. Absolutely. We do have, you've got the top 11 now. You've got Park, 2nd, Oak, 1st, 3rd, Maple, Pine, 4th, Cedar, and Maine, and 5th. Then you've got a gap. Then you have Elm and 6th. I'm still looking for trees. Washington, we've done. Cherry, we've done. Park, we've done. Grove. What about Grove, Bruce? There were a lot of groves back in the day, but no, not working for us. Willow. Oh, we got a winner here. Number 16, Willow. Number 16, Splair. All right, just in case. Have a good night, all. Take care, Splair. Cocoa, Sycamore. I think we've done it. If I'm not mistaken, I'm double checking Sycamore. I don't know if we have it. No, we don't have it. And it hasn't been done. No Sycamore. Fir, F-I-R. Fir Street. F-I-R. Is there a Fir Street in the top 50 of American streets? Nope, there is not. Peach. Talking fruit here. Peach, baby. What about peach? Peach. No, I thought there was a peach. I really did. But I guess peach is limited to certain parts of the country. And you got to be in the top 50. Moving on. Orange Street, Orange Avenue, Orange Road, Orange Way, Orange something. No. Yeah. Thumbs up to Park. Kevin Chapman. I lived on Cherry Street. That's why I know this. Where? Where did you leave? Water Street. Bruce. Water Street. Is that a top 50 name for American streets? Water Street. No. Coconut Grove. Coconut anything. Coconut. No, but there's another nut. There's another one that ends in a nut. Lexington. You're thinking Monopoly now. No, Lexington doesn't work. Pennsylvania Avenue. No, that's not working. What about Chester? Chester Street. No. Pine Hill. We had Pine already. We did Pine. We didn't do the other one, though. Oops, Sharon already said Pine. What about Hickory? Bruce. Hickory. Yeah, number 20 in America. 20th most common street. Hickory. Village. Village Avenue. Village Road. Village something. Is that another one, Bruce? Village. Not showing. Chestnut. Yes, the other nut. Chestnut, number 44. Most common street. Someone asked me about Center Street. Might have been the author himself. Number 45. Someone asked me about West. There was East, West, North, South. West is number 46. They're now showing up because I'm eliminating all these other names. Sorry about that. Okay, well done. Almond. How about almond? There's another nut I'm looking for, by the way. But almond is not among these. What about pecan? Nope. Not pecan. Kumquat? No. Walnut. Yeah, walnut. Number 15 most popular street name is Walnut. Well done, Roger and Stephen. Kentucky? No. Ivy? No. Neither of those. Okay, I got to take you back in time. Think about a small village in Pennsylvania where you have maybe 1,000, 2,000 people. What does every village have in it from the 1800s? Think about the 1800s before cars. But you had streets, and think of the main things a village had, a town had. Chestnut, we've done. Mockingbird Lane, no. Park, we've done. Delaware, no. Quaker, no. Franklin, no. Chester, no. Smith, Square, and Horse. Smith, we got Smith Road, number 37. And nothing else yet. Buggy Railroad, yes. Railroad Ride, Railroad Street, Railroad Drive, number 35 most common. Carriage, depot. Where did you go on Sundays? Where did the entire town go to on Sunday morning? Where did you go? Courthouse, by the way. No, not courthouse. That's one of them. I know you're going to get it. Church Street, of course. Yes. Church, the 22nd most common street name is Church Street. Church Ave, Church Lane, Church Boulevard. Absolutely. At the end of the day, just before it gets dark, what do you have? There are roads named after this event. Every night, every day we have this event. At the end of daylight, we have this event. And there are roads named after this event where something is falling in the sky. It's not dusk, it's Sunset Boulevard, Sunset Lane, Sunset Road. Yes, Sunset. The 12th most common name in America for a street is Sunset. Now, someone is thinking, what about sunrise? If, hey, you're going to have sunset, would it stand to reason there would be a sunrise? Wise Road? No. Vine or Broad Street. Vine or Broad. I'm looking. Can't find. Someone asked me about Birch. Someone asked Birch, that number 43. We got that one. But no, we don't have Vine. We don't have Broad. Lincoln, no. Wall Street, no. Think about how towns are on, there's just topography. And you have on the lower part of town and the upper part of town. And the upper part of town, they had names up there. There are names for streets up there, up the top of those, like Hill Street. Yes, Stephen and Debbie. Hello, Debbie Manuel. Hill Street, that's right. Hill is number 39, but there's another one up there. Also, Kevin is thinking River Street. Yes, River is where's River? I have it. Oh, it's here. Come on now. You got to find River. Where's River? Yeah, River's 25. We've already done it. Highland. Oh, there's a good one. Number 28. Yep, and there's more. Center we've done. Mountain Avenue, Mountain Way, Mountain. Nope, that might be too big of a feature. Valley Road, Valley Way, Valley something. Nope, we don't have Valley. Terrace or Peak. Neither of those. With your inland, and a river comes down to the end of the river and it spills into a big flat piece of water. What is that called? Many towns and cities have one of these in the city. What about Summit? That's another good one right there. No. Delta or Creek or Bay Street or Ocean or Ridge. Ridge is 23. None of you have gotten the other one. Nope, not yet. Lake, yes, Donna and Roger. Lake Avenue, Lake Street. Number 17, most popular name in America is Lake. We also have kind of that area where water runs down and then there's all kinds of vegetation. It's like a delta, but it's smaller than a delta. It's in your neighborhood. You might have one in your neighborhood here and there. Sometimes farms have these on their land. If they have 50, 100 acres, they have these little water areas where there's a lot of vegetation. Pleasant. There's a lovely name for a street. Pleasant. Not in the top 50, though. A brook, that's a good guess, but that's not it. Swamp, a little too harsh. Pond, fountain. I'm thinking something a little more romantic than swamp. Just a little less harsh than that. A calm, peaceful, starts with an M. Now, there were times that there were cities built in the middle of wilderness, and before they could even build the first street, they had to clear the land. What did they have to get rid of to put buildings in and streets in? Marsh, nothing more romantic than a swamp. A meadow, there it is, meadow. Number 30, most common street. Meadow Lane, a marsh lane, no. Swamp Avenue, I don't think that would work too well. So you had to clear the land to build fields, to grow crops. You had to clear the land for downtown, but then you would preserve these things so that you'd have a park with a lot of these standing around to give you shade. And around town were a lot of these tall plants that gave a lot of shade and a lot of wood, and you called it not a park. You called it something. A whole bunch of trees together is known as not a park, not a reed, not a vine, not an orchard. No, not a vine. Forest. There we go, Coco. A forest street, Forest Avenue, Forest Lane. Now, if you're driving along and you see the water out there and you see the sailboats on the water, and you can see them kind of from above, and you see way down there, you see all those power boats and people getting towed from power boats to water skiing and sailboating. You have a street with a lovely vista from up here. You can see the body of water, and you have a nice picture of it. You know what I'm saying? Forest Vista Lake. Yeah, lake is part of the word right there. Lake is the first half of this word. Lake Vista? No. Lake Vision Location? No. Lake what is what we're looking for. And then the rest are common names. A lakefront? Nope. But if you're high up and driving along the lake, kind of on the edge of a cliff, and you can see over it, wow, what a thing you have up here. What a great lake thing you have. Lakeside panorama view, Lakeview. It's Lakeview Avenue, Lakeview Street, number 27th most popular in the United States. Okay, the last of these, all right? I've tortured you enough. You're all getting it. There are now about 5 left. I'm looking for names, 2 that start with J, 2 that start with W. Last names, 3 that start with W, actually. 2 with J's, 3 with W's. Common last names, and 1 with an A beginning. All right. Now we have Williams. Williams Street, number 48. Williams. Johnson is number 34 most common street. Jackson, number 29th most common street in America. Jones, no, we're done with the J's. Juniper, we're done. Alexander, no, I need another A. Wheeler, Walker, I need 2 more W's. John, looking for a sporting goods company. The volleyball in Castaway. What was the name of the volleyball in Castaway? Anderson, for the letter A, it's, I believe, a president. Alexander Street. And then we have 1 more tree that starts with an S. Wilson, that's right. Wilson, number 36 most common street name. Wilson. Thank you, everybody. Webster, Adams, yes, sir. Adams, number 47. If anyone guessed Adams earlier, I apologize. There's 1 tree left, starts with letter S, and Kevin has it as Spruce. Yeah. The 41st most common street name in America, Spruce Avenue, Spruce Street. And that, my friends, does the quiz for the day, all the quizzes of the day. U.S. common street names, where number 1, First Street, is 4th, and Second Street is 2nd. Go figure. Number 1 street in America, Park Avenue, Park Boulevard, Park Lane, Park Avenue, Park, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, phew, Kevin said that was a lot of work. Well done, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today, being with us here. That is much appreciated. Thank you for another fun evening. Have fun planning your world tour. We'll keep you posted on all of this. This is going to be weeks in work, in production, but we'll work on it. Thank you again for your kind messages, and thanks for the support on the thumbs ups today. Thank you earlier for answering the poll question today. Thank you very much. We have the thumbs up meter now registering about, what is that? Just wait for it to reload here. It's 37. Thank you. Thank you all very much. 37 thumbs ups. Very nice. Robert has a good question. How many towns have a 4th Street but no 1st Street? And Coco, there is a neighborhood near me where all the streets are named after Bonanza, the Western, Kirk Brunson, Washington, and Debbie Emanuel. That was a fun as usual. Yeah, I can see a lot of towns would have taken 1st Street and turned it into Washington eventually as the first president. And then they kept 2nd and 3rd and 4th. I can see that. Things change. Sometimes First Street runs along, a craggy, busted up street, and eventually it gets bulldozed and gets replaced with a highway, and they lose First Street. Now they call it Roosevelt Parkway or something. I don't know. Wilson, there you go, Kirk. Anyway, there you have it. Yeah, the evolution and the evolution of cities. Thank you for joining me. I'm beginning to hiccup now. I'm going to go. I'll see you next Monday. Have a great week in the meantime. We'll keep you posted on this round the world Odyssey thing that I'm working on. And we'll talk to you later, everybody. Thank you, Stephen and Debbie. Great to see you here tonight. Kirk, Coco, Robert, Kevin Chapman, Sharon. Splayer was here earlier. All kinds of you. Robert and Cool Jazz was here. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening. See you next Monday. Bye for now.